get a second coat. Probably a couple hours. In the meantime, I'm going to cut those out and form those, and maybe start fiddling around on the rear deck, the turtle deck. Cut ththese out, pounded them to shape with a hammer and dolly, and got them right as far as the contour. Now I've got them tacked in place. I'm going to cut them in place, and then it'll be an exact fit. Then I'll weld them in. Because the lighting's going to change because I closed my garage door. I don't want the kids next door to come in when I'm welding and see the flash burn their eyes. So I closed my garage door up, so lighting's a little different, but yeah, we're gonna get on this here. So I push it flush, and then I got less body work to do. Okay, where am I? So by cutting it in place, the old piece comes out, the new piece fits. I'll try not to breathe on you, COVID and all that. So in case you couldn't understand me with the mask earlier, I tack it on the outside. I cut it, then it's an exact match to shape. I'd already pounded it flat in spot. By making it flat, I push the new one back. And as I cut through the tacks, it releases the one on the back. The first couple of welds will probably tack the old one in. So once you get around there, you can kind of pry it off. It comes off easy because I try not to go through too much. Those welds were pretty bad. I'm running out of gas, and so I'm trying to really be careful with that. But the main reason for the weld is I'm just not doing very well. No, I know the welds aren't great. They're just tacks. I'll do them pretty when I get it in. Right now I'm just trying to get the stuff stuck together. So I'm not really all that worried about it. Let's stop this thing from shaking. Alrighty, so now we're at a point where the POR-15 is dry. I didn't go right to the edge here. That's so that welding, right? Oh damn, a little on myself. The thing about POR-15 is if you get it on yourself, you're you're going to be wearing it for days. It doesn't come off. So anyway, directions on the POR-15. Metal prep done. Did that. Rinsed with water. Did all that. Then a thin coat. Wait until it's not sticky anymore, dry, but just with a little bit of finger drag. Did that. And then a second coat. The second coat went on a little thicker, actually. This stuff goes a long ways, by the way. I poured it out into a little little cup like this, about that much. Did each coat inside of my lowers, my inners, basically the whole area that I showed you, or that I will show you now. Actually, let's take a quick tour. That's better. So I got the POR-15 on the inner of the 2 patch panels that I made on the English wheel. I've got POR-15 on both sides, where I welded in the, that's just some dust that settled on it, because while I was waiting for the POR-15 to dry, I put in those patch panels there, and on the other side, the X is where the hole goes, the center of the hole for the bumper. And while I was at it, I did a couple of other little things too that were not really related to the car. So this whole thing inside and underneath, and on that side, and of course inside the bit where it goes, and the full. So that little bit did all of that with a brush per coat, 2 coats. So it really does go a long ways. And now I'm going to give you back to the other thing here. Holy cow, I got a dirty face from grinding. Obviously the grinding was from putting these patch panels. Anyway, not relevant to what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do is, the paint decision I made was based on a cost analysis of the different options, and for me as a home guy as opposed to a shop, it makes a lot more sense to use rattle cans for practical reasons as well as economic, which I went over with you already. You know, if you've got the major compressor and you've got the guns and stuff like that, different story. But if you're doing project every few years and it just doesn't justify the cost, so it's actually a better value to go with this stuff. This is the 2-component car rep epoxy primer. So the directions on the POR-15 say when it's about an hour in and still tacky, which it is, I assure you, to put a light dusting primer. So this stuff here, what I like about this as a rattle can, it's a 2K product, 2-part, which makes it a lot more durable. Generally it's a superior product. 2K is always going to be superior to a 1K product. What I like about this is it doesn't go away. Like, you don't lose your entire can for doing just this little bit here. Because all I'm going to do is those areas at POR-15, and we're going to see how it sprays on. It's right near the bottom end of the temperature. It's about 17 degrees Celsius, which is, what's that, about 68, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I do the math, but I don't feel like it. So what I'm going to do is, once this goes on, I'm going to get down some space heaters. I'm going to have the garage space heated overnight, because it's going to go down to about 9 or 10, which is 55 or so. So I'm going to keep the temperature in the garage warmer. This was sitting inside. I take it for 3 minutes, And I don't need to pop any kind of a, even though it's a 2K, I don't need to pop any of the, whatchamacallit, the little stopper thing. So I'm going to shake this for 3 minutes. La cucaracha, la cucaracha, no, 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 no. I won't ever do that again, I promise. Oh no, it's got a fan. It's got a proper fan, just like a spray gun. It's got a, huh, who knew? Spray's all right. I like having that fan like a proper spray gun. So I'll get the other one and we'll see how we do. It says light coat, so that's what I gave it. Light coat, 3-minute flash, by the way. This way. Seems to go on okay. I'm going to get inside those things. I'm going to do another light coat. I probably won't do the heavy coat because I don't want to. It says do a light coat, but I'm going to give it two really light coats. And that'll give something for it to grip onto the next time. This stuff's supposed to be really, well, it's epoxy, so it's got an anti-rust component. It's got yeah, I think it's going to be a good product. I like the way it sprays. It's not clumpy or anything. Some of the stuff, you get kind of drippy sprays. This has got a nice spray. We'll see what she sounds like in the morning. These imperfections, I am absolutely satisfied that that's the POR-15. That has absolutely nothing to do with the car rep primer. The car rep is sticking to it. I just shot it too soon. That's what led to this look. I am fully satisfied from this experiment to the point where when it comes time, I'm actually going to POR-15 my inside of my wheel wells as well. I may do the whole bottom of the car, I don't know. That's pretty expensive to do with POR-15, and this stuff here is apparently really good at abrasion resistance and rust protection stuff. So I may just go with the primer and the paint from Car Rep. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do on the floor. I'll do the inside of the wheel wells with POR-15 and then do primer and paint. This is 120 grit. Like it's sanding down, it's smoothing. The edge has come, you can see the edge, but this is on there. This is not stuff that's going to come off easy. This sticks hard to metal. This metal was treated with a metal prep, a degreaser and a metal prep, so it was etched. So one thing I can tell you for sure is that the Car Rep epoxy primer coming out of the can on prepped metal, on etched metal, is everything I would expect from an epoxy primer. This stuff's tough. So anyway, we're gonna see how this experiment comes out here. While I was waiting for my primer to flash off, I thought, you know what? I think captive nuts for the license plates, right? North American style license plate's too big for this gap. Little something I never knew before about a Sprite. So I need to get a mounting thing, which is okay because I actually want to put an LED reverse light under the plate as well. But I'm still going to put captive nuts here. It'll come out and hang down. So that's still going to happen. I've got 1/4 inch nuts and bolts, and I'm going to screw them through, and we'll go from there.